yet to be deployed, about to be deployed, or has been deployed by the Environmental Protection Agency. And so we'll be discussing that. We're told that it's going to cost around $200 million or not. We need to get some explanation. So we're going to have Professor Brown-Kluche join us, who is the Executive Director or Chief Executive for the Environmental Protection Agency. So we're going to have some extensive conversation on the subject right here in the studio. We also have our panelists who are going to help us do the discussions this morning. So make sure you stick and stay. Join us. Let's have some great conversations thereof. And let me just also do the introductions quickly. I see many of you on our stream. We're grateful that you've joined. Prince Nania York, Zilis Dwayne, the rest of the team, and then our viewers on social media, we're grateful. Please make sure you share the screen. Let's have some great conversations. I've been joined by Dr. Jebuntie Zato. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Regular for our Wednesday conversations.
Yeah. We just wanted to find out if the government has given fugu allowance to government ministers and appointees.
Because Rashid is here.
Rashid is here. They're like, Shehu, if they give fugu allowance, give one. We can't just come and sit there like that.
Yeah. Rashid, are you a practicing Muslim? Are you a Muslim?
Yes.
So you're fasting?
Yes, I'm Muslim.
All right.
I'm on health grounds. I'm
fasting.
All right.
Please.
You have ulcer, Ramadan ulcer.
When are you?
And then
do you have Ramadan ulcer?
Dennis Kwakwa has also joined. Dennis, good morning. How are you?
He has Ramadan ulcer.
Well, I hope you are fine.
I'm well, sir. I'm well. And then, of course, Solomon Owusu, Director of Communications, UP. United Party. I saw a video of him, 2023 super delegates, canvassing votes for Alan Chairman thing. I was laughing. How are you?
I was there, yes. When we told them that if they broke the queue, they would never break the 8.
Is that so?
They thought we were joking, and lo and behold, my brother Kwakwa is sitting here with me. We are enjoying.
But you shouldn't have left the MPP. You're a thorough MPP break.
No, but the UP, they have to join the UP. You know, the UP is the mother party. So but we have added a plus so that it takes away all the negativity associated with the UP. And we are calling all Ghanaians. This morning, your testers and callers, you were talking about youth unemployment. It's a serious matter. The plan is here. The plan is here to take us out.
All right. So Professor Amma Brown-Kluche, CEO, Environmental Protection Agency. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
You're still an agency, right?
It's an authority.
Authority. All right. I should know better. And this nano technology you're introducing, I remember the height of the conversations last year. And of course, you had that fracas with the biochemist, so to speak, or the chemist from UEW at the time. That's when you posited this idea and said it could be the game changer. How's it going to work?
Yeah, thank you. So from that time, in fact, even before that argument or conversations, we from the Environmental Protection Authority have started investigation into how best we can clean our polluted rivers. So at the time I was speaking, we had some level of confidence in this technology called the ionic nano copper. So from then, we all know that the challenge was put before us to do a demonstration of this. We went back to gather the funds as an institution which is completely IGF, put ourselves together, do all the trials we had to do, and then we're ready to demonstrate this to Ghanaians in a pilot process, which we did yesterday. So what you witnessed yesterday was something we have tried close to a year, and we had the confidence to show that we can indeed clean our polluted flowing river. I put the emphasis of the flowing because that is where the argument was. It's easy to treat stagnant water or collected water, but it's not easy to clean a flowing river. But this is where technology has taken us to. What we have, as we witnessed yesterday, was a flowing river that was treated. What the technology does is to separate water from every other substance. So where we did the application, as the water is flowing, it will be treating as it flows. So we clearly saw that the separation was happening immediately we applied this technology. And you will see the reaction in the river as it happens. And then after 40 minutes, we fixed the top of the river, and then we saw it cleaning. In 1 hour, it was already crystal clear. And so this is a technology we're recommending for cleaning of our river bodies. And some will question the source of the pollution is still there. Again, as regulator institution, we are looking at that side where the miners will contain water they have used to clean the gold or the ore before, or together with the soil, before they leave it into the environment. They will contain the water or polluted water. They will clean it or treat it with this technology before they release it onto the environment, or they reuse the water to continue with their processing. So we are looking at that aspect as well, so that once we clean, the water will continue.
Okay. And I'm just looking at the act that sets you up, and your mandate is to ideally also make sure that you contribute to curbing galamsey in itself, which is really the source of the flowing river that you want to clean. So aren't we putting the cart before the horse and then undertaking expenditure needlessly, somebody will say as a criticism?
Yeah, thank you. Our mandate is not to fight galamsey. Our mandate is to protect the environment. So every activity that seems to have impact on the environment, that is where we come in, of course, which includes galamsey. So we know that the galamsey activities distracting or devastating our land, polluting our river bodies, even the air quality is being affected through the galamsey process. So galamsey is a major activity that causes distraction to the environment. There are other activities. We have the manufacturing companies, pesticide and other companies. Their activities also impact negatively on the environment. So EPA is not just about galamsey fight. It encompasses virtually every undertakings in the country. Anything you do that can have an impact on the air, on the soil, on water, is where EPA has to come in to regulate that. With that said, we have come to meet a situation where our river bodies are polluted, our land is degraded through some activities. Now, as regulator institution, which is mandated to protect the environment, how best can we deal with this situation? How best can we protect our water bodies? Water bodies didn't used to have this brown color in the past, but now this is what we have been confronted with. So once we are confronted with this situation, we had to come up to deal with the situation. So cleaning our water bodies, it's part of our mandate to protect it. We clean and then we continue to protect it. And our solution that we are bringing are these two folds. We clean the water and also tackle it from the source, making sure that before the water is, or polluted water is released onto the flowing river or onto the land, we get it treated before it's released. The same thing we are doing for the land. We have also come to meet a lot of land that's already degraded, and so we are reclaiming the land as we speak. And at the same time, encouraging and enforcing the miners, small-scale miners, large-scale miners, to reclaim as they mine. So when they finish digging a certain area, before they move to another area to dig, they should cover the soil, at least fill the holes they have created before they move to other areas. This is another way we are also kind of protecting the land. So once we do the reclamation of abandoned pits, we encourage that the new ones that are being dug should also be covered. So it's the same situation we are having with the water cleaning. We clean what's already existing, and the source is also making sure that the source is also dealt with.
Okay. And I remember when you posited this idea, the argument was whether it cleanses the water or removes the chemical residue. You know, the cyanide, the mercury, and things that are used. This, your nano, ionic nano copper technology, what does it do to the chemicals that are left in the water?
Yeah, so the fundamental thing the ionic nanocopper does is to separate water from every other substance. So which includes the heavy metals, which includes the mud in the water, the silt as well. So it removes every chemical. It settles it down. If you were there, I think your studio men were, your media people were there. They saw on the cameras and in their own eyes how the process works of the treatment. So it settles everything below the water and then leave the treated water on top. So if we didn't have much mud, we'll see like a long depth of water that is clean. But that was a situation yesterday. We had a lot of mud in the water, though the water settled and we had a clear water on the surface. We had a lot of mud underneath. So the mud settles together with the heavy metals. The tests we have done severally in putting different dosage of this technology in the water prove that it takes away virtually every mineral, if I may say. So it takes away mercury, manganese, sodium, every mineral, it brings it to the barest minimum. And so as the water is treated in the river like this and it comes clear, there are no heavy metals in there, which means the water can be used for even domestic activities or any other activity we use water to do. What we caution on drinking is that though it's drinkable, but it's not potable, because the good minerals that we have in water, manganese, iron, zinc, and all of that we need for good circulation of blood, it's also taken away by this chemical.
Okay.
So which means that this water, the clean one, as we see in the river, must still go through the Ghana Water Company Limited process of treatment. And then once it runs through our taps, we'll be able to drink even from our taps.
All right. So the subject matter of the money, you know, for governance people, and let's say those who are critical of government expenditure and budget items, they always look at the big tickets, the money, what affects the bottom line. And I do know, based on what our reporter is saying, 1 liter of the ionic nano copper can treat about 30,000 liters of running water. If that is the case, how much then are we spending? Is it really $200 million? And over what period? Is it for 10 years, 2 months, 1 year, or how?
Yeah, so this is when we have water in a pond, contained water. So we use a liter for 30,000 liters of polluted water, then get it clean. Once it cleans, that's all. You don't need to, it doesn't, after cleaning, we have a clean water. After several years, the water will still be cleaned. But we are talking about a situation where we have a flowing river. The dosage we put is per the flow rate of the river. How fast it flows will demand more of the ionic nano copper. And so that is a different calculation from stagnant water.
Okay.
That said, if the feed, the water flowing into the river from the different sources that we inject the polluted water in, if that side is clean, and we have already cleaned the water as it is now, then we don't have any more case, the water will remain cleaned. So we don't need to go back to reclaim the water.
All right. Hello, are you still on?
Yes.
The money, you didn't talk about the money. I asked the money. $200 million, that's the report.
Yes, so $200 million will procure an amount that will clean the usual flowing rates of our river bodies for like a kilometer. So we do a calculation for the Brim River, which is about 175 kilometers length. That's we need about $35 million to clean.
Right.
So one thing I say is that the focus on the money, I mean, we don't need to focus on the money. If it costs us a fortune to bring back the state of our river bodies, the damage these polluted river bodies is doing to us Ghanaians, we have already started seeing its manifestation with defects in birth. We see kidney failures, kidney diseases, and all of that, because some places in Ghana, that is still their source, the only source of water that they have. They just put alum in it, the dust settle, and then they use it, forgetting that the heavy metals are still in there.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you now.
Which means we need a better treatment aside alum for our water bodies. These communities may not be able to afford this new technology. Alum is not expensive. With some 5 cedis or 10 cedis, you get enough to treat your water at home.
Okay.
However, heavy metals remain there, and that is causing a lot of health issues with our people. We are talking about life that depends on these river bodies, and the number of communities that depend on these river bodies. $35 million is nothing compared to the pollution and the impact it has on the people. How much will you value a life?
Okay.
I'm not sure you can value a life, but this is many...
Professor Brown-Kluche, I really wish that we had more time for this, but last question. We have a chemical pollution of our running water bodies, and we're using another chemical process to depollute it. What's the effect of this new introduction of the chemical technology on not only the environment, the water body, and then ultimately the humans who will consume it?
Yeah. So thank you. As I explained, that is the process we call the dechemicalization. So yes, we use the chemicals to remove chemicals from the water. So we call it dechemicalization process. As I explained, this technology separates water from every other substance. So heavy metals are removed. As I explained, it gets completely cleaned and usable by human beings. One test we did and we're happy about is that after the application, when we wait for 40 minutes, 1 hour later, we see aquatic life start to come. Aquatic life, we saw tadpoles, we saw frogs, that came. Our experiment in the lab, we have used fish to also try this treated water. And you see the fish very comfortable also in this treated water. So our confidence is there. The water is good enough for people, even on site. After 1 hour, some people started drinking the water. I have drank the water myself, and it tastes already very good. But as a caution, I said earlier on, you can't depend on that as a drinking water, because the good minerals in it is also taken away, because this separates water from every other thing. We just have the liquid available. So after Ghana water treatment, then becomes portable for drinking and for any other thing.
All right. Professor Brown-Kluche, Chief Executive, Environmental Protection Authority. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we'll go on to Yakubu Adam. toxicologist. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Yakubu Adams, toxicologist. Good morning, Yakubu Adams, toxicologist. Okay, well, we don't have him yet. So if we get him, we'll let you know. Dr. Zato, what do you say to
Prof? Oh, thank you. No, good morning to our listeners and everybody.
I'm sure you were listening, so, you have some key questions.
No. It's not question to say that from a scientific perspective and from the clean water perspective, it looks like a brilliant idea. She's a scientist. She's one of the best scientists we can have, and a proud member of the teaching at the University of Ghana, where her students get to learn from some of this impeccable knowledge. And as you can see what she said, tested in the lab, brought in the real world. So from that perspective, from a scientific perspective, from a clean water perspective, this is good. I have no problem, but there are some other issues. But there's something clearly you must see. So, but from a policy perspective, he has said it. This was never meant, or is never meant to solve galamsey. It has absolutely nothing to do with the maintenance of galamsey. It has absolutely nothing to do with the marauding effect of galamsey. So those are two completely different things. She's not out there to try to solve galamsey, no. She's out there to say that galamsey has caused us. But what can we do with the water that has come out there? That's what it is. In fact, so that is a tacit acceptance of the fact that the fight against galamsey is a massive failure. That is a tacit acceptance that we cannot fight galamsey. Let's try to teeter at the edge and treat the symptoms of it, while allowing the main causes of the galamsey to go on a challenge. That is what she's saying. Because there are three things, there are a number of things that you said, I've also said. You talk about the cost. Yes. The cost is about 23 million. We've seen Nymos come out here. We were here when the Nymos people told us that they didn't even have life jackets, right? Bulletproof jackets. We were here when they told us that they didn't even have some of the ammunition to fight the people coming. And we said that in any country and any situation, if you have any force that is so powerful as to even force your military to retreat, that's terrorism. That's no more under any regime at all. If somebody, there's a force powerful enough to force your army to retreat, that was what happens to the Nemos people. Since that time up to now, some Nemos people have been killed, people have been done. I don't know how much have been resourced. Since then, it might have changed. Two, she mentioned something about deaths, about diseases, kidney failures, liver failures, birth defects. The water might be clean. What about the contumely? What about the cassava? What about the banana? So that is another issue, because people are eating it, so you may clean the water. Yes, it's done. Again, I'm not questioning that technology, but I'm questioning the water that has now got into the food, because our food system, the food system is now saturated, it's now poisoned with galamsey. This does nothing to that. That's another failure. Then we can then begin to talk about the government's approach. It's one of those things that you consider and you then say that, do we even care about this galamsey anymore? Because if you look at it, galamsey has been put to the back burner. If you look at it, government doesn't want to talk about it because government has absolutely no clue on how to solve it. Government doesn't want to address it because government doesn't think it's anything important. The Catholic Church came out with a statement. That statement is still there. They said action is now. Delay is not an option. Nothing has happened. We then go back and begin to look at some of the things that the government said it will do. Investigation. Solomon, you and I sat here and talked about, they said they were investigating Mustafa Bandi and what's the guy's name? The other guy.
Yamin, not Mustafa Bandi.
Yamin.
Oh, sorry.
Yamin and Abanga.
Yamin Abanga. What has happened? You and I were here when an MP and people left to almost the death of a challenge, almost trying to cause the death of a cannon. What has happened to that? Another DC yesterday, I'm saying yesterday in reference to recently, was also told to have been what? What has happened to that? So, when the government said they will go after the big men of Galamsey, it seems so far, after almost 1 year in power, the big men in Galamsey means big men in the MPP. And they've done that successfully. What's his name? Chairman Wuntumi is in court fighting for his life or liberties. So he has no self-proclaimed. When the government said, when they came inside, they took the Frimpong Boateng report and they treated it as if it's the Holy Quran, the Holy Bible of Galamsey. What have they done with that report? Because you see, if you quote the chairman of the Civil Society and Media Coalitions for galamsey, he made a point. He said that in the galamsey fight, NPP criminals have been replaced by NDC criminals and financiers. So we should sit here and understand this. And yes, whilst the professionals, and as you can see, she's a non-politician, so she's focused on the job. While the non-professional politicians are out there doing the right thing, the politicians are playing hide and seek with galamsey. And then we begin at what cost? This government has not shown any commitment, has not put its money where it's meant to fight galamsey. They're telling you that we will all die for it. We will all be poorer for it. We will all be sick for it. And there seems not to be any remedy. And I'm saying this, there's one way you can fight this galamsey and one way you can fight it very well. Is to ask yourself a very important question. What happens to the galamsey gold? Unless and until as a country we find an answer to that question of what happens to the galamsey gold, this is not going to happen. This is piecemeal. This doesn't go to long term. The people are still getting sick. Our food is still getting poisoned. And all this is all in the name of what? Money and gold. I think there's about time that we sit there, we wake up as a country and ask ourselves, why? Look, there are certain documentaries that if you listen to some of the documentaries, young girls, teenagers, their menstrual cycles being literally thrown out because of the way this thing has happened. Birth defects. And then what do we want? My question then is, what will make the government crack and say that let's take this serious? What will make the government finally sit up and say this? Look, I've said something. If you come into power, you have every right to blame a previous government for what happened. Yes, it's true, it's part of it. But according to the national chairman of the NDC, you know all the problems before you came to power. According to the national chairman of the NDC, there has to be an expiry date for when you can begin blaming all your woes and pathologies on the previous government. What is the expiry date for this government taking responsibility for the galamsey and stop blaming the previous government for all their failures, woes, and pathologies? There must be an expiry date. If not, 4 years down the line, even 8 years down the line, 12 years down the line, you can always blame somebody for your woes, for your failures, and your pathologies. When is the deadline?
Rashid Tanko, at the end of the day, they say you're solving the end problem and not the beginning problem. You're not being proactive, you're being curative.
Well, let me say good morning to you and my co-panelists, as well as the good people of Bimbilla constituency. I wish them happy Ramadan. I mean, at the end of the fasting, I'll invite you to come and feast with us in the Bimbilla constituency. It's a nice place. You have to make time and come. I'll be bringing Zato there to see. You see, my brother landed on one thing, and he said expiring date. How can you use 1 year to overturn a calamity of
the whole of
I'm coming.
Of a
calamity of 8 years. A calamity of 8 years. The way these people destroyed the environment for 8 years, 8 damn good years, on the pretext of party Hiyansika. Why are they running away from that thing? You use party Hiyansika to destroy the environment. In fact, we have one of the most fantastic ladies in this country, Professor Kuluchi. The woman is doing fantastic at EPA. She has transformed EPA within the shortest possible time, from armchair EPA to a leg-moving EPA. She's always on the move. You hardly see her in the office. She's in the bushes, trying to make sure that she protects the environment. She doesn't behave like a woman with her age. If you see her, she's like a man, like a hunter. She's always on the move. Because the destruction of the environment and the NPP was so massive. Too bad. Too bad. So she cannot sit in the office and run the EPA. And see, Dr. Zato, let's give credit to the woman. She's doing fantastic over there.
I did.
And I'm saying that when you say that they are trying to have an expiring date, you should have one of expiring. It cannot do. It's not possible. This party here, Sikatin, is still, look, we hardly sleep over this thing. And EPA is not a body that fights galamsey. She rightly stated it there. There is a body that is fighting galamsey, and they are achieving their mandate for that. They have destroyed the forest covers where you went and and establish villages and allow them party boys to go and destroy the environment. Nano has destroyed all those hamlets in the forest cover areas. And they are still chasing them. Go to Habo. You see a lot of excavators apart, they cannot clear them. Do you know why they can't clear them? Government has put an embargo on that nonsense. Before they left office, they brought almost $60 million of excavators to this country, MPP. What were they trying to do with it? You go there, they are packed there. Some of them, they are running helter-skelter, begging to help them. They won't be cleared. Because we know what they are trying to use them for.
What won't be cleared?
Those excavators, you must give reason why you are bringing them inside the country.
But there's a protocol already established.
That's why we are saying you must give reasons. If you cannot give tangible reason for bringing those excavators, let it be there. This is what government is doing. It's holding the bull by the horn.
See, they are low-hanging fruits.
Oh, I see.
Prosecute the big men. Arrest the big men. Why are you not doing that?
This man is in court.
Who?
One to me is a big man.
Yes.
He's one of the biggest guys you have. You want to make him your national chairman.
So when you say big man, you mean MPP big man?
No, I'm saying that this government, have you seen any government appointees involved in this? No. That is one credit you must give to NDC. No government appointee is involved in any of these things. When the issue of this DCE came in, quickly, we didn't blink an eye. They asked him to step aside, and they are investigating that matter. And not knowing that issue that they are investigating started all along from MPP. They have been issuing receipts to people to come and do this kind of rubbish in this thing. And we're expecting that as a DCE, where what he needed to do was that, okay, you look at it and maybe stop it. But he thought because it's a assembly that has passed its resolution and decided to be doing this, he could continue that matter. That is the problem. It's not that he was involved in any galamsey.
Is the question not about, you take a look at what the position was and then the show of force that was associated with what the communication and the action was the beginning of the regime or the administration last year, and you now count the days from the middle of last year to today, it looks like there's a certain disparity as to what the buy-in and then the efforts are to combat galamsey. That is at the heart of the conversation.
You see, I do agree with you to some extent. But you see, the distraction was so massive that you cannot even take 12 months to reverse all these things. That's why the EPA woman, Professor Kuleje, is doing fantastic at the authority, trying to make sure that the water bodies and other things, they have to use technology. You know, she's a scientist. She understands these things. To try to change the water bodies, make it drinkable for the rural folks. I love my rural people because I'm a stock from that area. And so what she's doing is trying to help improve the quality of water that we drink in the rural areas. That is what she's doing. And she's trying to use, now they are questioning about the money. I'm surprised when I hear my colleagues MPP question the amount of money the woman is using to make sure that we have quality water to drink in the rural areas. Is it not far better than somebody who has dug a big hole, almost $98 million?
But it's not only MPP that's raising questions about the money. We have civil society organizations.
My brother Zato and his group, they are the people raising it.
No, but it's not only Zato and if it's Dennis or whoever, it's not only them. Even civil society organizations are asking.
But we are saying that
why don't we be more preventive than...
No, the preventive one is being done. It's been dealt with. That is what NIMOS and the group are doing. Chasing them away from the water bodies. And making sure that you don't... licenses are not issued to people to go and then mine near the water bodies and forest covers. That is what they are doing. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is spot on that matter. Dealing with that issue. Spot on. Zato, keep quiet. It's spot on that man. He knows it. And Madam is clearing all the debt in the water bodies. This amount that she's using to make sure that it take care. You have even mentioned it. People are having problem with menstrual cycles. That's not what you've just mentioned. This thing, birth defects. Those ones, we came and met it under your regime. It's not worse. It's rather better now. It's far better. I'm saying it's far better now. Oh, sugar coating. I'm telling you. You see, we are in Ramadan, no sugar coating.
Do you have data to show that it's getting better?
That one is better. Go and see the water bodies.
Do you have data?
The water bodies are now being cleaner. Have you gone to
Do you have data to show that it's getting better?
Oh, Professor has mentioned it.
Mention what?
She mentioned that they are doing
what?
fantastic in the water body. Go to Densi and see. It's now very clear. She even drank it. Here is she herself drank. She drank the water in that place. So
for you, the efforts are well in place.
No, it's well in place. It's working.
Okay.
And then we must give thumbs up to EPA and their leadership over there. They have done fantastic work.
Okay. Dennis.
Roland, let me
I'm told that we have our toxicologist, Yakubu Adam. Mr. Adam, good morning.
Roland.
Yeah, so this ion nanotechnology introduced, ion nano copper technology. We're cleaning the water. Any side effects, so to speak?
Okay, thank you very much, Roland, and good morning to you and your listeners and the other panel members. Okay, when it comes to the issue of the dechemicalization or the nano liquid technology that the EPA is trying to use to clean our water, that is actually the latest technology worldwide being used. However, that's not to say it's actually free or safe from any other complication that may likely or any other side effect. You know, when we talk about what the nano-liquid-based technology, what it actually do is similar to what Ghana Water actually does with their polymer. It just makes sure that it binds to total suspended solids in the water or binds to the debris. When it binds to the debris, it becomes more heavier and ends up settling down. So our EPA focus is actually on the physical quality. But when we talk about quality of water, we have to look at the physical, we have to look about the chemical, and we have to look at the biological. So for what I and my team have realized about this nanotechnology-based cleaning system is that it actually focuses on the physical quality, whereby it makes sure that the debris, what makes the water muddy or what makes the color darker, that's what the nanotechnology actually focuses on. And when it comes to the heavy metal, that's the chemical constituent of the water, it's not really, really significant unless you customize the nano-liquid particle. So nano-liquid particles are not universal to trap all heavy metals. So if you want it to trap, let's say lead, you customize it in such a way that it actually binds to lead. It's not for all. Like one nano-liquid particle has no ability to bind to all heavy metal. So it can bind to, when you customize it for lead, it will bind to lead maybe efficiently, but it will be weaker when it comes to mercury, arsenic, and or other heavy metals that may be found in this water. So when we're talking about the chemical constituent, the heavy metal will still be in this water, even though some amounts will be reduced, because definitely there's going to be some affinity to these nano absorbents or these nanoparticles. But that is not to say it takes away all the heavy metals. But when it's also even settles, you know, I realized that the EPA boss was mentioning that within 40 minutes, it settled down. When it settled down, research has also shown that depending on the condition of the water, if the water now becomes acidic, now the complex now dissociates itself and become individualized. So if the copper-based nanoparticle, let's assume, binds to mercury in the water body, and it's actually settled down, when the condition of the water changes, the mercury liberates from this copper-based nanotechnology, and the mercury ends up in our environment again. And we all know the implications and the side effects that mercury comes with. Aside that, applying the copper-based nanotechnology, also the amount actually depends on the flow rate, how fast the water body moves. You know, these are rivers. How fast it moves. Now, how fast it moves also depend on the amount or the dose that you are going to apply. And when the flow rate is high and you apply high dose, the excess copper that is not binded to any debris or any total suspended particles will end up being in our water body. And according to the WHO, there are some levels that are supposed to be safe. There are some levels of copper that are categorized to be safe. So a copper level in our water shouldn't exceed 1.3 ppm or 1.3 milligram per liter. Meaning when you take every 1 liter of water, then the copper shouldn't exceed that. So, but if this nano-based technology actually introduces much of these nano liquids into our water body, we may likely now suffer from maybe copper contamination in our water. But aside the inefficiency of even removing all the heavy metals that I've even mentioned earlier. So there's nothing like 100%. And remember, we have seen, according to the Water Resource Commission, about 60% of our water bodies is actually compromised by galamsey activity, and which constitute about 16 river bodies, including the River Pra, River Cobra, and Birim. And we all know the kilometers. We all know the length of these water bodies. So when it comes to application of these nano liquids, yesterday when I saw how they were treating the water, it's like they were doing fumigation exercise. So we need to put down engineering structures or engineering controls, because if you apply these nanoparticles and it ends up binding to, let's assume that you end up binding to the heavy metals or all other debris in the water, how do you then remove them from our water bodies? If you don't remove them from our water bodies and the condition of the water changes, now the mercury or the other heavy metal that you think you've trapped, they liberate itself and ends up in our body, in our water body, and fishes to consume them. Our aquatic life will depend on that, and we're also going to depend on the water and also the aquatic or the fishes in there. So this is actually the problem, because the engineering controls is going to cost us more than the chemical cost. Now, even treating 1 kilometer, they estimated it to be $200,000 United States dollars. Imagine putting down structures, because right now the water flows downstream. So when you introduce the chemical from let's say from a source, now you have to put down an engineering control at the end of it, so that you can trap all the flux. When I say the flux, meaning the complex that has been formed by these nanoparticles, so that our water can be actually free. So our water is not actually free from heavy metals, because heavy metals that binds to nanoparticles, the nanoparticle must be customized to be specific to that heavy metal. So from our studies, or from my studies, we realized that these copper-based nanoparticles or material have the tendency to bind to cadmium and lead. Although cadmium and lead is also very toxic to our body whenever it enters into our system. However, we have other heavy metals of concern, like the mercury. So when the mercury gets into our for that mercury, even if it's smaller amount, it has the ability to cause a serious debilitating or deleterious effect in our body. So I commend the EPA boss. Like, I realize that she is very, very enthusiastic, or the enthusiasm in trying to clean our land and our water bodies. So that's why she is trying to explore all possibilities. But that does not mean that it does not come with health costs, because it's going to cost us economically, and it's also going to cost us health-wise.
All right. Thank you very much. Yakubu Adam is a toxicologist, and I'm told that Professor Amma Brown-Kluche again wants to have a reaction on that. Do we have her?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I really wanted to actually cut in and stop him from the direction he's going. I would be happy if my brother would pick samples of this treated water in the flowing river and test it in any lab at all he wants to do it. What he said is not true. Yes, we can customize the nano copper, but this particular one, which is copper-based, removes even copper, removes every heavy metal from the water. And I mentioned that it even removes the good minerals that we need in water. As I said, it separates water from every other thing. The focus is not just on the physicals. It does algae. It fights the biological pollution of the water. It fights the chemical pollution of the water. And it also reduces turbidity of the water. So as I explained earlier on, we need a per WHO limit, Ghana Standards Authority limit. And remember, Ghana Standard is also collaborating with us on this. Ghana Standards Authority is collaborating with us on this. All of these institutions have done their own independent tests, including the Water Resources Commission, the Water Research Institute of CSIR, and then, of course, EPA. We've come together, worked together on this. So before I come out, you know, my expertise as a physicist, as a scientist, I will not give an information that is not credible to Ghanaians. From the argument of last year to today and the progress we have made, WHO standards and Ghana Standards Authority limit for zinc in drinking water is 5,000. After the treatment of the water in our flowing river, what we get is virtually nothing. It's like 1.6 in the treated water. So compared to zinc level, it's virtually gone. Mercury in our water that is drinkable per WHO Ghana standard limit is 6. But this removes everything and leaves 0.1. 0.1 compared to 6 that we actually need in the water to drink. So as I said, it removes every metal from the river. It removes algae. It removes every bacterial from the water. So the ionic nanocopper deals with treatment of physical, chemical, and biological. Any kind of pollution in the water body is completely removed. So as I said, the water is drinkable, but because it removes even the good minerals from the water, you need to have some level of treatment to bring the good minerals like the zinc, like the iron, like manganese and all of that. It helps with blood circulation. So we can depend on it as drinking water, but we can use it to cook and do any other thing. But then you can taste, you can drink, but it's not like some water you can depend on drinking every day. So that is why I caution that it needs water company treatment before it runs through our tap for it to be portable for us to drink. But as we speak, per the treatment, it's completely good. It has no health implication.
Professor Brown-Kluche, well, we seem to have lost it. And Mr. Kwakwa, what's your reaction so far? Hearing from the toxicologist, having heard from her earlier, and subsequent reaction, and then what Dr. Zato did say by way of policy implementation being haphazard, actually not being proactive, but rather curative.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's quite interesting when you hear the people from the NDC discussing this topic. You heard my brother Rashid Tanko sitting here to say that it is difficult to fight a devastation that has taken place for 8 years. What he means to say is that galamsey started when Akufo-Addo became president. And you know that is a lie. The famous Aisha Huang once came to this country for the first time under Mahama's first term as a president. President Mahama, in his first term, between 2013 and 2017, appointed Joseph Yamin to lead the task force against galamsey in Ghana. So it is very disingenuous to come and sit on platforms like this when we want to address a national canker of this nature and try to politicize the whole issue. I think it is clear that President Kufuor, even when he was president, made comments as to how we needed to guard the environment against emerging galamsey in his days. Professor Mills had made a comment before. Mahama came to continue. Kufuor Bawumia came and did a lot of work. Mahama is back. He has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Because interestingly, he has got the opportunity that no other person has got before. Come back to be president, having risen through the ranks to vice president, went back home, 8 years and come back. And so people expect him to prosecute every agenda that he has with the right skills and attitude. Unfortunately, that is not what we are seeing. My brother Rashid tells us that the woman is very active. She's been going on site to chase out galamsey. The woman is also saying that her mandate does not include the fight against galamsey. And so when she took office and was running helter-skelter in the bushes with military men and policemen chasing people out, I don't know what she was doing in the forest and the mining areas. I think the NDC does not have a clue as to what they want for the people of this country. They want to spend the money of Ghanaians that could have been used for any other meaningful thing, just to give out pictures that the waters are getting clean, thereby giving the NDC people the opportunity to continue to do their galamsey and destroy our environment. The $35 million that she's quoted can be used to recruit about 7,500 people and pay them $4,200 a month for 1 year. Let's say teachers or whatever, wherever you want to take them, 7,500 for a period of 1 year at a salary rate of 4,200 a month. And so if they want to spend 35 million cedis just to come and improve their optics, tell the people of this country that we are standing by this river. This is how we came to meet it today. This is how it looks. So that the NDC people can continue to do galamsey and enrich themselves. I think that is not what people expect from them. Now, they are always quick to mention Wontumi. Wontumi is not in court because of galamsey. Wontumi has been accused of giving rights to people to mine on his legally acquired concession without authorization from the ministry. That is all. He has not been accused of doing galamsey. And it is very important that when we sit on shows like this, we state the facts as it pertains in the courtrooms. Nobody is charging Wontumi for galamsey. They say that by law, if you have the concession, if you want to transfer it for anybody to work on, you have to seek approval. That is exactly so. That is the reason why Wontumi is in court. Now, the toxicologist has made some of the points that I wanted to make. You see, the whole nano copper technology is just a means to frustrate what we call flocculation. It acts like a magnet, so it binds to all other particles. And when the particles come together like that, it becomes more denser than water, and so eventually it will fall to the riverbed. The woman has said that the particles are going to be there forever. And don't forget, the particles she's talking about are the lead, the mercury, and all other important minerals that you have to acquire when you drink water. And if you are telling me...
Specifically, what she said was that they are removed from water.
The water...
If let's say the water is a stagnant water, for example.
Yes, so even she said that per her calculation, if you give the right dosage to a flowing river, it will still be able to do the work. Perfect. But I'm saying that apart from the heavy metals that are dangerous, the important minerals that serve the basis for drinking water, as she has stated, are also going to be removed. Yeah. And so if you come and tell me the water is, the taste was good, what is the taste of a clean water? Clean water do not normally have any taste. And so she herself telling us that she took the water and it tastes good means that there are still some minerals. If water has no minerals, then it will not give you any metallic taste or earthly taste. And so that is not true. She's only saying things to convince the people that they are working. And Roland, when the particles settle on the riverbed, heavy rainfall, other aquatic activities, you see the fishes, sometimes they also play on the riverbed. It could stir up the water, and the flowing water could still flow to places where the technology has not been affected. And so in the long run, the fishes are going to drink the water. They are going to feed from the riverbed. You see, most fishes feed on algae. The algae are very small plants that grow from the bottom of the rivers. They are going to feed on them, and these things are already imbibing the minerals that the minerals and the heavy metals that are already on the riverbed. And so it doesn't cure any problem that Ghanaians are confronted with. Don't forget, Our interest in fighting galamsey is one, to make sure that the environment is not destroyed, and two, to make sure that we don't die from the activities of these heavy metals. And so if the fishes are going to eat all these metals and then we go and fish and come back and eat, what are we solving? We are solving no problem. The only problem we are solving is for the NDC to give a picture to the Ghanaian that the water is getting clean. Now, President Mahama, before coming to power, made a lot of noise about galamsey. Unfortunately for the people of this country, when he was given the mandate, he is now enforcing and emboldening his people to do galamsey.
Why is he doing that? What do you mean by his emboldening?
I'm going to give you only 3 examples. 3. If you go to Akrofrom in the Ashanti region, where I come from, the Akrofrom DC who is appointed was the chairman of the NDC before they came to power. And he was seen on tape doing galamsey in public. He was, in fact, interviewed on one of the radio stations in Kumasi, and the kind of language he used simply because people had mentioned his name, that he was part of a galamsey operation. After taking over as DC, this man goes to a community, bring all the chiefs together and tell them that we are going to fight the task force that the president has sent to come and fight galamsey because we cannot survive without galamsey. The man is still in office. If you go to Atrimamponia, the DCE there was their chairman. In fact, one of their party boys went to do a video by the roadside saying that the road that was constructed by President J. Kufuor between Nkawie and Nyinahini was almost caving in because of the illegal operations of their constituency chairman. That man has been made the DCE. If you go to Ashanti region, the security liaison officer, Jabari, is NDC vice chairman in Ashanti region. His deputy yesterday accused him that when they went into a forest and arrested the Chinese, he, the liaison officer, security man, the security liaison officer for the national security of Ghana, sent officers to go and arrest the people who were helping to fight galamsey. And so if you have a president whose main appointees are well integrated in the operations that we want to fight, what are we doing? Then my brother also spoke about the man at Odotobri, that is Amansia Central. You have a whole DC who supervises over collection. That is how they term a legal collection of monies on excavators that are coming into the district. Unfortunately for the people of Ashanti region, the drip machines that were taken to the districts by Akufo-Addo and Bawumia to rehabilitate our roads, most are coming out to tell us that they are in the bushes doing galamsey for these NDC people. And so I believe that President Mahama and the NDC have not been truthful to the people of this country. This whole technology is only coming to paint a picture, to show clarity in the water. But that does not solve the eminent problems that we have. And I believe that nobody can credit them with anything. They are only going to spend our monies on something that is not going to solve our problem. I don't think we can applaud them in this regard.
Solo, your observation so far, the right plan or it's still haphazard?
The right plan is to go after all those that are involved in galamsey. We have said time without number that galamsey is the preserve of the powerful in society. They are the ones doing it, and we are beating about the bush. If you went to any locality, those who are doing, they know them. Those who are financing them, they know them. But when you go and arrest them, then there is a call. There is a call telling those that have been arrested, those that goes to effect the arrest, oh, leave them. They are people. And that is why we are having all this. 4 river bodies in our country. If you take the Brim, which is 175 kilometers, as Prof just said, you would need $35 million for that. If you were to go on the Akobra, which is about 190 kilometers, you would need more than that. If you took the Pra River, which is about 240 kilometers, more than that. So if you combine Tano is about 400 kilometers. If you combine these 4 rivers, you are talking about 1,005 kilometers. And 1,005 kilometers multiplied by that a kilometer that will cost you $200,000. Then you are talking about more than $200 million. That is why they arrived at the figure $200 million. But these are not the only river bodies that you have. What it means is that you need to go to the root cause of this problem. When we were doing the 2024 campaign, we had said through Mr. Alan Chematifa, he held a full press conference on it, that we would have introduced a technology like this. However, we were going to ban galamsey first. we are going to ban galamsey on water bodies. First of all, why must you even be thinking about galamsey? It's an illegality. So we are going to ban mining on water bodies and closer to water bodies for a year, for the water bodies to settle. Then afterwards, it would have even reduced the cost of purchasing these technologies. We seem to be doing a reverse of it. NIMOS is working very hard, at least from where I sit. But what NIMOS is lacking is the total political will. I tell you, there
they are not backed politically?
A lot of frustrations that the colonel over there goes through. A lot of frustrations. Big men who are sometimes apprehended. Go and see, the last time I came here and told you that the boy himself is being investigated by national security. I heard it, I laughed. I said, what are we doing? What sort of life is this? We got to be serious. Because you see, death does not know political color. Death, when it strikes, it does not know whether you are NDC, MPP. But why must we, in the 21st century, where we claim to be civilized, be destroying our water bodies? And it's as though we can't do anything to stop it. In those days that we didn't have a lot of PhD holders in this country, our water bodies were clean. In those days that we claim we had not even brought the free SHS, that a lot of people had not been to school, our water bodies were clean. In fact, when we were young, Tuesdays, you dare not enter into any forest or so. All these things were put in place to be reassuring the environment. We grew up, and for the love of money underpinning all these, I want to acquire all the worldly things. I want to be known and seen as the one that has the money. You have the money, so what? At what cost to the environment? That is what we must be looking at. Else, the total budgetary location to the Ministry of Science, Environment and Technology is, the last time is about 1.3 billion Ghana cedis. If you convert 1.3 billion Ghana cedis into dollars, it's about, if you took the cedi to the dollar to be 10, it's about $130 million. We are talking about $200 and over million that you will need to implement this full technology. What it means is that the entire ministry's budget, we will need to double it to even be able to deal with this water situation. Mind you, EPA is an agency, or now is an authority that
is
one-off. So it means it is not going to be easy raising it through the budgetary locations. Though we have seen incidents of where people were able to dig a hole with $97 million. I don't know how they got the money. But under the current circumstance, it will be very difficult to be able to implement it. I believe that the surest bet, because mind you are listening to it also carefully, that the water will not be wholesome for consumption. If it will not be wholesome for consumption, then why must we then fixate ourselves in cleaning the water right now rather than going to the source and also investing more in the Ghana Water Company? Because at the end of the day, the water that we will consume will be coming largely from the Ghana Water Company. If we are able to invest more there, at least for now, you have wholesome water. Now you come to the politicization of this issue, as I've seen on this table. My brothers are to doing politics with it from the MPP perspective. My brother Tango comes in and also punched them that 8 years Ghana was a crime scene. Then my brother Kwakwa comes in and said the drip machines that President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia took to the Ashanti region. And so now we understand that it's one ticket. Whatever President Akufo-Addo did, it represented what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Is that what we are talking about here this morning? If that were the case, then we now begin to understand what lies ahead of this country. Should we make the mistake on settling on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Because then, whatever President Akufo-Addo did, he did it in conjunction, close conjunction.
The drip.
He said the drip machine that. No, I'm not. I'm coming there. I'm only patting you at the back. That you have given. Ghana. You see, we have been asking this question over and over again.
Can never be disassociated
He said that there's no disassociation.
That's why
you are only confirming what I'm saying, so I don't even know why you're doing.
I said anywhere that he was not part of Akufo-Addo's administration. So
but even his boss was part of the administration. Alan was.
The beauty of it. Why? The beauty of it. One shot. It brought the beauty of the two MPP people on this platform. The beauty of it. You have been presenting him as a lecturer, as a neutral. I only spoke about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and immediately he came in. Immediately he came in.
No, I was helping you make your point.
Have I asked for your help?
No, I was
what it is.
Alan was an integral member of the Akufo-Addo administration. He's actually Alan's Akufo-Addo's boy.
Yes.
So what it is that it was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Nana Akufo-Addo that first of all caused the total destruction in our environment.
Why?
As a president and a vice that took the decisions, they were to deal with that comprehensive report that was sent by Professor Frimpong Boateng. What did we hear about that report? Nothing, zilch. In fact, they took the report and threw it away. At the time that we were told by Sir John that told by Professor Frimpong Boateng that he was in a room with Sir John and told the president that, look, this man sitting in front of you, that is Sir John, he was the greatest danger to our forest. I thought Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and President Akufo-Addo would right away arrest Sir John there. They didn't do that. They pampered him. They gave him the Forestry Commission. You understand? We had a political party that at the time, in 2024, when we were going into the elections, we had their running mate, Dr. Napo, Opoku, tell us that they are never going to stop galamsey. We had a year free. Tell us that, look, they want us to stop so that they can come and do COVID. We will not stop galamsey today. We will not stop it tomorrow.
But the counter argument they make is that it's been over a year, and so
I'm coming there. I'm building it because if I don't build it, if I don't build it, I have to. You know, I have two elephants in a room, and I have the umbrella. I have to deal with the elephant and go on the umbrella, and at the end of the day, establish my point.
Okay, what's your point?
The point I'm making is that he cannot come and create the impression that the New Patriotic Party did anything good in that sector. They were a mess. Now, you go back to the NDC. I said it here. I mean, as we speak. Now, by the way, I'm asking the DC or MC of Tiwa East and SNM and his brother in tow. What happened at Ankase? This is another matter that I'll discuss tomorrow or the next time I come here. You see, people cannot take us for a ride. The last time we were talking about the near fatal death of Keneboa at a Suchifi Novo. So, what has happened to that case?
Yes.
What has happened to it? When the Attorney General of late, I've been hearing from the Attorney General, has he gone to sleep? Is the Attorney General sleeping on the job? Because you see, the last thing this administration wants to be seen is to want to abandon the operation, recover all loot. Not that we have not been looted, though. Make no mistake. In fact, people are even disrespecting the president. And if I were the president, I would sack the Auditor General. Somewhere in November of last year, the president gave a directive, and I heard him vividly call for a forensic audit on the 13th All Africa Games. You heard it. And that report, the president expected it in the middle of December of 2025. We are in February. We are ending February. That report is not ready. We have not heard anything from the Auditor General's department. The same thing with the cathedral, the National Cathedral. And so if we don't begin to probe and go after people who are mercenaries, we will have some of these things. So I agree with him. In fact, what Kwakwa and Jamunte are saying is that we know our people wronged, did a lot of bad things. We know they committed the offenses. We know they committed the criminalities. But you have been in government for 1 year. Why are you not going after that? I agree with you, Kwakwa.
You can't put words in my mouth. At what point did I say that we wrong?
Difference.
Don't infer.
I can't infer.
Hey,
wait.
That is a wrong inference.
No, it is right.
It's a wrong inference.
It says that
I never made a point that suggests.
Don't make attributions.
What you are saying.
Okay, you know, I consider you and Jabuchi as doing the same argument. So it was rather Jabuchi that said has been a year. No, when I have two people speaking from the same pot, I tend to take them as one. But what I'm saying is that they are right in saying that after a year, what is happening with all the criminalities that happened? Hey, so they want to tell us that the Pualugu $11.9 million that they got shared along the way, it must go scot-free. They want to tell us that. What about the Japan royalties? That they expended $12 million in London. They went back, they went there with money, they came back with nothing. It has to go scot-free. What about the numerous scandals within the school feeding program? They want to go free.
So you're saying oral should work?
It has to.
And then punish their own as well.
Oh, but that is what they are calling for. That they don't understand why those that committed the offenses are still walking about, and even some are attempting to occupy sensitive positions as chairman, as secretaries. Look, we have the communication ministry. Esra, ever since we exposed that some $6 million passed somewhere, she wanted to be general secretary. We have never heard from her again.
No, what do you know? The elections for
the woman has
MVP
run
at
away.
national level, the nomination hasn't been opened. That's all right.
Which one is that?
But let's have a conversation. Okay.
Yes, quick one.
You wanted to add to something? Just a minute, because my time is.
My brother Kwakwa has helped the discourse this morning. I'm saying he has helped in the sense that Mr. Kwakwa, okay. He has very important information for national build-up.
Look at the activities.
No, it's important. No, we're talking of drip.
So
no, I'm saying that drip, you've mentioned about drip. I don't have, you are not giving us. That drip machines have been used for galamsey and others. No, not picking. Oh, Kwakwa, I haven't gone there. You see, he's concluding.
You have valuable information. The NDC has never got any information to share.
Mr.
Are you ruling the country, or you are here to intimidate everybody?
Mr. Kwakwa,
let them come and pick me.
When you were talking, I was quiet.
Let them come.
I'm just telling you that. You see, it's important. We are Ghanaians. We must be patriotic.
You are not going to gag us.
Oh, who is going to gag you?
So stop that.
You see, when you are giving information, it's important. This government will not allow its appointees to misbehave. So if you have vital information of that nature, and you say it on national televisions like this, the drip coordinator is there. I know him.
They are on their way.
Drip coordinator is somebody I respect. Nilanti. He is somebody, he will not sit and allow somebody to use drip machines to go and do galamsey. So if you are saying they are using his machines in the Ashanti region to do galamsey, you are having it's in the coordinator. He's a coordinator. Look, that's one. Another one, you are talking of MMDCs. You mentioned some DCs that they are made some statements publicly and saying that they will attack Nano officials. Well, coming to this. These are vital information you have. And I'm saying we are not gagging you. We are patriotic Ghanaians. The president has made it publicly. I am not going to allow my appointees to go into matters of this nature. And if they are misbehaving under our blind side, we are not seeing it and you have information. Why don't you share that information?
Is it compulsory to share information?
Then you are not a patriotic Ghanaian.
It doesn't matter if I want to be patriotic
we are Ghanaians.
Am I forced to be patriotic? Am I forced to be patriotic? You want to tell the people of this country that you've never seen any bad thing happening.
No,
if I see how different are we two?
If I see it, I'll report it.
If I don't report, is that a crime? If I see and I don't report, is that a crime?
It's a Kwakwa.
I want me to be a whistleblower. I will be a whistleblower at will. You can't force me to blow the whistle.
We are not saying that.
I see no evil. I hear no evil.
Well, but for your information,
don't come
our national organizer is not an appointee of the government as we speak now.
I didn't say he was appointed now. I say in Mohammed's first administration. That was when he got a fight with the former regional minister. Samuel Sapo, and they were all sacked from the Ashanti region.
Saying that
is that not clear?
History
he's the first person who arrested Ashahon in Ashanti region.
Those ones, when you bring history like that,
is this not something
it doesn't help the current fight. The current
you wanted to make the point that Galamsey started with Akufo-Addo's government. I wanted to straighten your point that Galamsey had existed before Akufo-Addo and Bawumia came into government. That is the point I tried to clarify. How wrong is that?
Are you done?
Now you are talking about technology that is telling the people of this country that the village farmer can no longer fetch water.
Thank you. Mr. Tanku as well, and then Mr. Kwakwa. Thank you for passing through the studios. All right. But we also have to tell you that if you want to look smart and fashionable, visit any Woodin boutique nationwide, and you have to do that today.